Hello and welcome back to Two Chicks at a Horror Flick. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor.
And tonight we are going to be talking about Possessor, the 2020 Canadian, let me see how they described this, Canadian science fiction psychological body horror film. It's a doozy. It's a doozy tonight. But first, Felicia, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a giant bottle of water. I had a headache this morning, so I need to nurture myself. And giant
Those
bottle of water.
migraines.
I know, I hate migraines.
They're always getting your ass.
They are getting my ass. That pillow helped a lot. The water pillow that you recommended.
Yeah.
Last night, I had fallen asleep because I was watching Possessor on the sofa with a regular pillow. And I think
And that did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I get a tweak in my neck, and I start to get a headache.
Yeah. Did you fall asleep watching this movie?
No.
Or after?
Nope. I watched the whole movie.
Okay.
I promise. I watched the whole movie. And then at the end, I pondered for a moment, turned off the TV, and went to sleep.
Yeah, I get that. Exhausting, probably mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Okay.
How about you?
I am drinking a Truly, of course. I got the tropical pack, punch pack or whatever. So I got some citrus punch Truly right now. Yeah.
Nice.
What have you been watching, doing? Any updates? You had the whole week off, yeah?
I had the whole week off. So Monday and Tuesday, we went to this place called, they have them all over, Great Wolf Lodge. And it's a giant indoor water park. But they also have this indoors is like this magical quest where the little kids get wands and you have to go to each of these different stations and find the clues and rescue the pixie fairies and stuff like that.
How fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was a lot of fun. And then on our last day, which was Tuesday, we only stayed a day. I wasn't in the pool. There's like a wave pool as well. And that, TT loved that the most. And, Steve and TT were in the pool and we were thinking, oh gosh, how are we going to get her to go home, without throwing a tantrum? And a kid pooped in the pool.
A gift from God.
Yeah, they had everyone get out. And then she was like, but I want to wait and go back in. I'm like, it's going to be closed until dinner time because a kid pooped in the pool and the poop is spreading everywhere. And then it was confirmed because the people were going all around the pool. Like, she was like, oh, and so we got to leave. So
ask and ye shall receive.
Yes,
Felicia.
So we did that, and then it was already Wednesday, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's already Wednesday. But I haven't watched anything. The only thing I watched was today, and it was so much fun. And I always forget. I love Jurassic Park, and the original. Well, I love them. Most of them, but the original is like I think one of my favorite movie scenes in a movie ever, when that T-Rex breaks down the fence and that whole scene. And I was thinking, if I could, that question, like if you could bring, I don't know if it'd bring the only movie, but like a couple movies with you on a deserted island, Jurassic Park would be one of them. I just love that movie. So I watched that. And then I also watched, didn't know if I was going to mention this, but I just will because I'm a dork. I wanted like some romance. And
okay.
I didn't want romance where, oh my gosh, we fell in love and now I have cancer and die. Or, like devastating. Yeah. And also didn't want super funny, even though those are good. I just wanted like true, like almost like romance novel romance. And so I started watching Outlander. And this is totally...
Shit. Okay. Same fucking brain. Keep going, though.
Okay.
Keep going.
This isn't usually my thing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't usually... I love period pieces like The Duchess and the Marie Antoinette. I love that type of stuff, but I normally wouldn't sit down for a series that's like a period piece. But I got into it. And I'm like, kiss him already. Jeez. And like and Steve is not into it either. But on the 5th episode, he happened to sit down with his bourbon And he was kind of curious, like, what's going on, you know, because she's from the future and she, you know, people are treating her like she might be a witch or something. And so I explained it to him and he's like, oh, that's interesting. And so then moving forward in the week, like, he'd be like, do you want to watch your romantic show? And I'm like, no, honey, you don't want to watch that. And he's like, no, honey, it's okay. And I'm like, okay. So I've been watching Outlander. I'm only like 6 episodes in, but.
Okay. I hear great things about Outlander, and this is fucking crazy, dude. Same brain. I don't know why. I don't know how this happened. We haven't talked about this at all. Over the weekend.
I didn't even know if I wanted to admit it.
I know. I also thought that about what I'm about to say, but here we go. Fucking guilty pleasures, whatever. I started watching and binged almost entirely, almost in one day, but I spread it over the course of 2 days. Bridgerton.
Oh, my daughters watched that. I haven't.
I don't know what it is about the show. I wouldn't say that it's like great. It was weird, but I couldn't stop watching it. Like I was just
okay.
I was just along for the ride, and some of it was like better than other parts. I don't know, but it scratched that itch majorly for me. And I also, for some reason now, am into these period pieces just every once in a while. Like I finished Bridgerton and I was like, well, fuck, I want to just keep watching that. But there was only one season on Netflix. So now what I'm going to watch, and I'm like looking it up, like what else is like Bridgerton? And I've already watched a handful of the other ones. Have you seen The Great?
No,
That's on Hulu.
Shoot, I just literally stumbled today. This is weird, Tawny, our minds.
I know, dude. This is so...
On Instagram, I stumbled across Dakota Fanning's page for some reason. It came up in my feed and I clicked on it. And then I saw her with her sister. Elle Fanning is the one in The Great, right? So I clicked on hers and saw all of this stuff about The Great and like all these awards and these different pictures. And I'm like, oh, what is this?
Okay, you should watch The Great and you should watch Harlots. I think those are my two faves in this like realm, this period piece. I don't know what to call it, what type of period it is, but it's like, I don't know, very good. So Bridgerton wasn't like, it didn't hold a candle to either of those, but it definitely is like a romance story with these old timey, I don't know. But then I was like looking it up. What else is like this? What else can I watch? And everybody said Outlander, but I didn't want to start Outlander because Jade wasn't home. And I was like, I think Jade's going to like it. So I don't want to start without him. So I started watching Rain, which is like the CW version of all of these shows. And it also is like not great, but I'm just in for the ride. I just keep watching episodes. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. I'm like half paying attention at this point, but the outfits are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like in Rain, they're like the now inspired, what is it? Like 19th century. I bet it's even older than that. I don't know.
With like you mean like with a modern twist, like they did in that movie. Oh my God, which I love, A Knight's Tale.
I know I've seen that movie somewhat recently, but I don't remember about the outfits. But no, this is exactly what you think. It's like, let's take a period piece and make the CW version of that. And we'll even make their outfits sort of even like a mix between old timey and like new. So Bridgerton, you'll see like the outfits seem to be like, I don't know, a lot more toned down, but these are like, I don't know how to describe it. You should just go look at it and you'll be like, oh, I see. But anyways, that's so fucking weird that we were on the same wavelength.
Just had this wavelength. So I could say Outlander, the acting is good. And there's some pieces, because they were all books. And there are some pieces that like the narration or the narration sounds like a book, right? But the acting is good, and it's curious, it's interesting, and I really like it. So I'm gonna have to watch the Bridgerton, The Great, and Harlots. Can take me a long time. It was really good because I just don't have a lot of time. There's a lot of time, but always like the Octonauts or a Disney movie is on.
Right? Yeah.
it was a series that's over, so you could finish it. And I'm sad it's over. And it was called Borgias. The Borgias. Yeah, that was fucking good. And it's true, right? Well, within, because was about the Pope and the Borgias. And
I was seeing
it's a true
that
story. It was really good. With Jeremy Irons.
Okay.
That was a good one.
I'll check it out next.
And then movies. Oh, just if you want to watch a movie, just let me know.
Okay.
I fucking love that shit.
You
should watch. I'm just gonna say you should watch The Duchess and you should watch Marie Antoinette.
I've seen Marie Antoinette. Did not like it.
Oh, you didn't?
No, just not because of like the period. It just is like it's one of those stories that it felt like to me that nothing fucking happened. Like it felt like I sat there for hours watching this movie where.
Really? It was a true story about Marie Antoinette, and she was killed at the end. Okay, The Duchess was real good with Keira Knightley. I liked it more. And The Duchess was really good. Anyways.
I do like these movies. Like Pride and Prejudice is pretty fucking good. I cried. I hadn't actually seen that until we moved here and Jade's mom was like, "You haven't seen Pride and Prejudice?" And I was like, "No. I have seen Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies," which is the same story just with zombies. And I really liked that. But yeah, it feels like Keira Knightley is in every single, is that the one? She's in every single period piece.
Every single one. Yeah, she
Crazy.
was, I don't even remember. I'm not even going to try to go there, but yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say for those shows that I told you, Harlots is only like 3 seasons long. The Great is only 1 season and Bridgerton is only 1 season. So I'm just saying, you don't have to set aside that much time to binge watch all of these.
Okay, yeah, because I think the Outlander is like many.
It's like 6 seasons or something, deep. I think. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Anything else that you watched or want to mention?
No, just that Jurassic Park and all of that chapter. And yeah, that's it.
We also watched Wish Dragon.
Oh yeah, I saw that last week. Yeah.
Wow, incredible movie. I really, really liked it. And I'm not a fan of animated stuff, as you guys know, but I was
soon you're not going to be able to say that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I will watch them. I will. But I'm kind of picky and I don't know. But that one was really cute. It really felt like it had heart and it just had a personality, you know? I don't know. I
loved Wish Dragon. I loved it. I also loved it more than Raya.
Yeah. Raya, for some reason, it didn't feel like it had a heart. Like, the story was good. I liked the message of it, I guess, but it just felt like it was almost like overly manufactured by a studio or something. I don't know. That's like the best way that I can put it. Whereas Wish Dragon felt a little bit more, I don't know, like scrappy. I don't know. Those are weird words to describe. But you know what I mean? Like Raya was like polished. It was like overly polished. I felt like it was like it's genetically engineered to be a hit in a way that felt, I don't know, like weird. And then Wish Dragon was just like, I don't know, this like underdog of a movie. I just didn't expect it to be good. And it was very cute.
It was very cute. I agree.
We're obviously in the need for some like really cute romance stuff. And then we probably obliterated all of that with Possessor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good because we need to balance.
Yeah. DAF, dark as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Whew. Possessor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, again, we're talking about Possessor from 2020. And the director is Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg. And here's a little bit of information about him, David Cronenberg. So he is a Canadian film director, screenwriter, and actor. He's one of the principal originators of what is commonly known as the body horror genre, with his films exploring visceral bodily transformation, infection, technology, and the intertwining of the psychological with the physical. Cronenberg is best known for exploring these themes through sci-fi horror films such as Shivers, Videodrome, and The Fly, though he has worked in multiple genres throughout his career. So that's just about David Cronenberg. I actually don't think I've seen any David Cronenberg movies. but I think I'd like them.
I saw The Fly.
Okay. With
Goldblum.
that one. Yep.
Yes.
Did you like it?
I mean, from what I remember, it was a very long time ago.
Okay.
But I remember
I'm sure
liking it.
We're going to watch and talk about it at some point because it's been on my list for a while. So we've got, for the cast, Gabrielle Graham played Holly. Andrea Riseborough played Tasia Voss. Jennifer Jason Leigh played Girder. Christopher Abbott played Colin Tate. I meant to look up what he had been in. Is it The Sinner?
He's so familiar. Yeah, he was in The Sinner.
He's incredible.
Yeah, he was good. He was
really like him. And then Sean Bean was John Parse. So IMDb gave this a 6.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 94%. And 75% of Google users liked this movie.
Nice.
Okay, so 2 minutes with Tawny time?
Let's do it.
This one was a little difficult, and I only took one pass.
I can't wait to hear what you say.
It's probably a little longer. A little longer than normal. All right. Tasia is an elite assassin with a company that implants people inside others to do the killing before committing suicide. Girder is Voss's manager and is concerned about Voss's connection to her family, which might make her vulnerable to losing control of the bodies she inhabits. While doing a post-kill test to make sure she's herself, she tells Girder about a butterfly she killed when she was a girl and still feels guilty about. She tries to reconnect with her husband, Michael, who she separated from, and her son, Ira, but she clearly can't get into the headspace of being herself again. She quickly calls Girder to get back to work. Their next target is Colin Tate. Colin is dating Ava, the daughter of an important business owner. The company sees an opportunity to control this data mining company and carry out the hit that they've been paid for, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, also known as getting 2 birds stoned at once. Voss is implanted into Colin and has a hard time staying in control, but carries out the hit by killing Sean Bean and Ava. But Sean Bean doesn't die, and Colin takes back over his body and takes Voss's tracks, is what I meant to put there. TR. Tracks. And tracks Voss's family down. He threatens to shoot them unless she tells him what she's done to him. Voss appears in their collective consciousness and tells Colin to go ahead and kill Michael. He/she, we're not sure, cleaves him to death and sits back in a pool of blood. But now it's Tasia, and she asks to be pulled out of the body before putting a gun in her mouth. She can't pull the trigger, however, and is stabbed in the neck by Ira, her son. She shoots him several times, but it was actually Girder controlling Ira, who now bleeds out on the floor along with Colin. Girder and Tasia wake up at the office and run through the calibration test, but Tasia doesn't mention feeling guilty about the butterfly anymore, seeming to signify that she is completely severed from her life.
That's good.
So now...
I was wondering how you were going to explain that. That was good, though, the collective consciousness.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but I thought that was close enough.
I think that was really good.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to shut the F up, and I want you to tell me, how did you feel about this movie?
Okay. The people that are listening can't see Tawny clench her fist is how do you feel about this movie? She had so much excitement.
I'm a little worried. Right now.
No, I really, really liked this movie. I just have a question about it.
Yeah.
But I really...
Just one question.
No, I feel like I really like this movie, and we'll get into everything. My notes, I have 2 notes because I just got so wrapped up in the movie. And often when I have a bunch of notes, it's things where I'm like, what? Or, or maybe it's things that I felt weren't done well, or things that were done well, but the whole movie was done well. So I didn't really take any notes, and I just watched the whole thing. I thought it was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. It was such a cool idea and concept. I guess my only thing was the point of it all, or of the story, was that I'm sorry, guys, we're going to, okay, hey, if you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, because you haven't seen the movie,
It's
you
too
should
late.
drop
I just
off now.
spoiled it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was the whole point of the movie that she was starting to lose control of her hosts because she still had that connection to her husband and child. And so it was her fighting with that. And then ultimately, finally, that horrific scene where she killed her kid, and you see it.
Yeah.
You see this child getting shot and then bleeding out. And then like she was done. Yeah, because I did catch that with the butterfly and she didn't feel guilty about it anymore. So I guess when it got to that point, I didn't know if there was going to be some sort of morality thing with her and Colin. I didn't know if Colin. I didn't know if there was going to be something there, if there was going to be even a bigger message. I think that's okay there. I think I've come full circle. I didn't know if there was going to be a deeper, more cerebral type message, more philosophical type message, or was it just her battle to either leave her job and be with her family or to completely sever who she was and become fully the assassin?
Yeah, I don't, I think that's what and I'll just jump into mine. I fucking love this movie. And that's what I love about it, actually, is that there is so many, I feel like there's so many ways that you can dissect and read into this movie. And so I don't know. And I think the prevailing theory seems to be that, yes, it is that she had these connections to her former life. And that's what was causing her to not be the best cold-blooded assassin that she could be. And so by then killing her whole family, she now is set to do that. And they talk about earlier in the movie her promoting into Gerder's position, essentially. And so I think that might be the intent, but I also think you can look at it in a bunch of different ways. And there are so many fucking themes in this movie. It's endless, but it also doesn't feel pretentious to me. Like we just had this conversation about like, I don't like movies that feel too heady.
Yeah.
Like too full of themselves. But I like when there's stuff like that's subtle and that you can, read in different ways. And there's like different kind of theories or analysis that you can apply to it. And I think that applies here for this movie.
All right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought, I wrote here, all the colors and textures. This is stunning, a stunningly beautiful movie.
I also literally wrote visually stunning.
Yeah.
Just that's like the best word for it. It is so vibrant. I love the use of color.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's
yeah.
Obviously very intentional.
And blood.
Yes.
Even the texture of blood.
Yes.
Everything. Like that first scene was gorgeous where are they like on a team? They're like volleyball players or baseball. There's some type. The girls that come in because they're wearing the same blue and white tracksuits where they go into the party.
No, I think they're escorts.
The girls in the tracksuits?
Yeah, I think so.
Very prostitute-y.
Because don't they say like something about, oh yeah, you got to kiss him on the cheek or something?
Oh shoot, I missed that. But am I right though? They were like in full-on zip-up, long sleeves, long pants, tracksuits.
Yeah, let me see.
But while you look that up, I just thought that was so badass. She just stabbed him. It was so gory. It was so violent. And then when she was done, where she had her hand in the blood and she lifted it up and it's like this super, super close up of her hand with blood and feeling the texture of the blood. It was just so fucking good.
Yes, I agree. And it feels, it is so real and like slick. And that this is like, I've watched this now a couple times. But I noticed that that's in a way kind of a continuing theme. Like you see way later when Colin stabs him to death, he's like slipping around in the blood.
In the blood, yeah.
Like, and yeah, I just thought that was
he's always
a nice
covered
touch.
in blood. He's always covered in blood. Yeah, I agree.
In the opening scene, we see Holly, a hotel employee, repeatedly stab and kill a man at a party she was hired to work. I must have just totally read into that. I thought her friend or whatever said something like, oh, they like it when you smile at them. I don't know. Maybe I just read way more into that than I should have.
Well, they didn't look like hotel employees either.
No,
They looked like, I thought the whole time that those girls were at an event.
Yeah, like,
and that they were
athletes.
on a sports team, that they were athletes. And so maybe that whole party was like, you know, for the team or the elites. People were there because of the team. The team were guests, something. I thought that anyway.
Sounds right. Now that you're saying it out loud, like maybe I just,
But they were hotel employees. That's an odd outfit for a hotel employee too, but whatever.
Who fucking, I don't know.
They weren't prostitutes though. Or maybe in quotes, hotel employees. I don't know. But it was great. It was absolutely wonderful.
Super, super gory. I mean, just knifes him right in the neck. And then you find out later, they're like, why didn't you use the gun? Like, we gave you a gun to do the assassination. And she's like, she opted for the blade. And, you know, there's several scenes involving her with incredible violence. And so she says, oh, I thought that would be more in character, right? For the person that she's inhabiting. But, you know, you're left to wonder, is it more in character for that person or is it more in character for Tasya?
Yeah. Yeah, she's getting more and more violent and she's not doing the easy thing by using the gun. But then she can't even slit her own throat or anything like that. And so for people listening that maybe didn't see the movie, in order for her to get out after she's inhabited the body and like killed the target, she has to kill herself, like the body she's inhabited, so that she can be pulled out. And she can't do it. She repeatedly can't do it, but she can't do it at all. Not only with a gun, but why not grab a knife or, you know, she just can't.
And I think that's one of my lingering questions is why? Why
because
can't
she's obviously very violent and becoming very heartless as well. I mean, the end, you know, she's becoming more and more like a non-compassionate person, right?
Yeah.
So then why is she having, maybe is it because she's feeling too much of herself? Or is it the person fighting? The real person. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Even the first time I watched this, because the very first time you see it, it's Holly and she puts the gun in her mouth and she starts to cry. And you can kind of tell there's like, I don't know, what seems to be a little bit of a struggle, like a very minute struggle physically. And so it did make me think, is Holly herself showing through a little bit and doesn't want to die? And that's why she can't do it. But I don't know. It's one of those lingering questions. And honestly, I just didn't have enough time today to do a ton of research, but it doesn't seem like there are a lot of answers necessarily. Like I read kind of some reviews with Brandon Cronenberg, and I don't know that he's ever stated exactly like what that is. So
I feel like that might be it actually, because then she has a more intense struggle the next time when she goes into Colin's body.
Yeah.
And there is a very visible split between both of them. Yeah. He takes control, she takes control, he takes control. It's like this back and forth. So maybe that was just the beginning of like Holly was trying to take back control. And then I'm sorry, what was her name? The blonde one, the assassin? Tasya, but then Tasya flings her arm out at the cops and they shoot her. So that was her way of doing that. Oh, I think that's what it is. Now,
okay.
That's what it is.
I think that's what it is too, but like, I don't know.
And she has to sever those ties, to those emotional ties, to get her control back.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like the first time I watched this movie, and even now, I can't help but wonder, and I think this might be because Tasya is positioned for us as the audience as the protagonist. And so in a way, I want her to succeed. I want her to be good. And so I watched that movie through this lens. And I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be that she wants to be severed from her family. Like, I want it to be that she does care about them and all of that. So I think that's also why I feel like when she goes to kill herself, like maybe she can't do it, or maybe there's enough of a question that the person who actually owns the body comes through and can't do it. But I don't know if that's just my own wishful thinking. It seems like I said, most people seem to sort of lean towards the idea that Tasia herself is like a total villain, right? Super cold and calculating, super violent, which I think is true. Like you definitely see that evidence of those things all throughout the movie. But it's like I want her to want to go back to her normal family. And I think most people seem to think that she is not. She wants to sever that tie. That's why at the very end.
Like she feels like, which is very real. Not for me, don't worry. But where you feel like you maybe don't want to be tied down with the family. I don't feel that way, but you see it in a lot of movies, and there's a lot of people, and it's totally fine. But like you kind of follow the societal norms of getting married and having children when you don't really want that. You want to be and do your own thing, and you struggle with that guilt, especially if you've birthed a child. Like, some people can just pick up and leave and ditch their kids, but I think most people feel guilty about it, even if that's kind of how they feel, what they want to do. So maybe that's true from the villain side. One thing I wanted to bring up, because for a moment, I thought this, and I'd love your thoughts. At the very end, when she or Colin, who we don't know, kills her husband, and then just kills him and kills him and kills him, like all of this energy, all this anger, all this frustration and confusion, then sits back, grabs the gun, and just grabbed it and stuck it in his mouth, made me think like, now I have done this. I am a fucking piece of shit and deserve to die. Like I have done this now.
Oh, interesting.
And I can't go back from that. And how devastated and guilty and just like fucking I deserve to die. And that might push her to actually pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And she still can't. And she's so fucking frustrated. Yeah, she still can't. Wow. And then Gerd comes in and stabs her. I love that twist where when she woke up and she had gone into the boy's body, and then stabs her. And then she reactively shoots. She doesn't even, she's not shooting her son per se. She gets stabbed and she turns and shoots. And then she sees him standing there shot. And then she just fucking unloads. And then she is gone. You would be gone if you killed your husband and child. That I do. You know what? Now that we're saying all this, and then I'll shut up. I do feel there were glimpses that she did love these two. And that it wasn't like an... Oh, thunder. Sorry, guys, if you hear. I can't control the weather. There's thunder going off. But or maybe it's like you were saying, through my own lens, what I want to be true. I felt like there were glimpses that it wasn't, that she did love them and want to be with them, but she was so far gone already that it was a real struggle for her to come back. And then by doing that, there was fucking no coming back. You would just be like, fuck it after I did that. Okay.
That's a really good point. I had never thought about it that way. That, like maybe that was kind of because another thing I love about this movie is just that those lines get blurred and you're actually not 100% sure who is in control at any given moment. And you don't really know, but based on the fact that as soon as she cleaves him to death, she sits back, puts the gun on, she says, pull me out. You assume that's Tasia.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe it started as Colin and became Tasia. And like I read something about, maybe that's, Colin's anger coming through, because they're kind of like, they're merging, right? They're sort of one and the same. And it's just really interesting. It's a really interesting concept to explore. But I love that opinion. And I think that's kind of where I land on this movie. Like, I want her to be somewhat good. And I look at her as a victim in this movie. I think she is a victim of this company and Girder.
Mhm.
And I have a quote here from Brandon Cronenberg that I think sort of like backs that up. And it has to do with a little bit with the violence. So he said, conceptually, Voss has a strange relationship with violence, where it's this weird thing that she loves and almost fetishizes. But it's also something that's possibly deforming her or being encouraged in her by this other person. And that person might be manipulating her or perhaps bringing out her true self. So I think we don't know. And I think I love that about this movie. It really rides that line. I don't know that you can say with certainty which one is true. And I even think at the end, when she comes back, I like how we just jumped completely to the end. But in the end, when she comes back and she's like, she doesn't mention anything about the butterfly. For all we know, she could be lying. She could know that this is the test and know that this is what they want out of her and just saying what she thinks Girder wants to hear. I don't know.
You know what? Yes. And on the flip side, it just popped into my head based off what you said. Maybe that is her true nature, that kind of fetishizing death and gore and violence. And so when she was saying, I killed this butterfly and I felt guilty about it, maybe the I felt guilty about it is the I'm a normal person. It's like the fake, maybe the I feel guilty is the fake piece.
Yeah, totally.
Because she doesn't want to seem evil. So she doesn't want to admit that she fetishizes that or that she likes it. So she's like, and I felt really guilty about it. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't. And I think that is another thing. I should have written this down and gotten like a real quote or something, so I might butcher this. But Brandon Cronenberg did say this movie is really about like dishonesty, about like who we are, like putting on a facade essentially. And I think he said it came to him when he was doing a press tour for his last movie, Antiviral. And he's like, you kind of have to be on, you have to put on this facade. And it sort of was in part birthed out of that. And it's about the dishonesty of how we present ourselves and stuff. So I think that there's really something to that. And you don't know. It's so up in the air.
Yeah, because now
I'm
totally on the other end now. Just based off of that. Now I'm thinking the facade is she likes killing. She gets off on it. She loves violence and kill, and she loves it. And she's putting on the facade of, you meet someone, you marry them, you have a baby, and now she feels obligated and maybe a little guilty, and she doesn't want to fucking feel that. She doesn't want to be there because she sees him, she has sex with him, and then she calls her boss, says, I'm ready to go back in. Yeah, like she doesn't even want to take time off, even though she was like, maybe I should take time off. And then finally,
she even says in that conversation when she calls her, she says, I'm sorry I wasn't myself the other day, implying I now feel like myself.
Yes.
Myself with the bloodlust.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
And that's not appropriate to feel to be that way. So she's trying to put on this facade. And then finally, she kills them and is completely severed from that and can be completely herself. Of course, again, because there's no turning back from that.
Yeah.
She can't even leave. Well, yeah, I guess she can. Yeah. I mean, she would be pinned with the murder because the guy's body is there. They just would be like, what the hell? Why did he go in here and kill this family?
Yeah.
But, oh, interesting. So can we talk about that murder scene with the fucking fire poker?
Yes, we can.
Holy shit. That was fucking amazing. And how is that guy even still alive? How is that possible?
That's what I was wondering too, especially the first blow where the fire poker, he shoves it straight into his mouth, into the back of his throat. I just assumed like that would hit your spinal cord, right? Like you'd be, well, and they do show him later, I think, in a wheelchair. So maybe he did. Yeah.
And like when he twisted it,
yes,
and the teeth popped out. Oh, holy shit. Oh. And then he put in his eye. So that moment though, she whoever was in control in that moment. I tend to think it was Tasia.
Yeah.
Because she loved it. Again, she put down the gun.
Yeah.
Didn't use that for him, and just spent her time.
Yes. Just crunching that fire poker into Sean Bean's face.
Wow.
Disgusting. And so real looking. Amazing violence and gore in this movie. We just talked about this with Wrong Turn too. And I think this is also just top notch. I mean, it's so gross, so bloody, so violent, so real looking.
Yeah.
I can't remember, and I should have looked up. You watched this on Hulu, right?
Yes.
The version on Hulu is the 2020 uncut version.
Yes.
Or something. But
it was uncut, yeah. Or unrated or uncut or something.
Yeah, the first time I watched this movie, I rented it on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure I saw the cut version, and I'm pretty sure I did not see the eyeball the first time. I think they cut that for American audiences, like to get a rated R or an R rating for the United States. So it was cool to watch it in its entirety. Like,
yes.
So gross.
So something popped in my head that's relevant. So hang with me for just 1 second.
Okay.
I saw this true story. It was true crime. It was like a JCS Psychology, that psychology show I told you about on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, a welfare check sent to a house. They get there. The girlfriend is dead, shot to death on the sofa. And he is there pretty badly beat up, just wandering around the house. And it had been a couple of days before. I mean, she had been dead for a couple of days. And he's just kind of wandering around the house. So it was the interrogation, and his eye is like totally swollen and red. And he's like not making sense. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's my girlfriend. There's bows and arrows, like not making sense. And the interrogator's like getting really irritated. And he says, oh, they shot me in the eye. And he's like, if they shot you with a revolver in your eye, you would not be sitting here talking to me. Okay, fast forward. Finally, the interrogator's like, well, come here. Let me look at you. Okay, he did not kill his girlfriend. Everything he was trying to say was true. He was shot in the back of the head. It came out of his eye. And he was also shot in the nose, and it came out of the other side of his nose.
What?
And they had him in the back because he just looked beat up. Had him in the back of a squad car and then interrogated. So he was literally with those wounds for over 6 hours.
Oh my God.
So they brought him to the hospital. They had to remove both his eyes. It's pretty horrible. He sustained a lot of damage, seizures, and a couple of years later he died from one of those seizures. So it's fucking sad. The reason I'm bringing it up is maybe the guy with the poker, it wasn't hot, but the poker lived. I mean, some crazy shit happens. You would think if you got shot in the back of the head and it came out your eye, you would probably be dead. The interrogator did. He was like, you
no
wouldn't be
fucking
sitting
way.
here. Yeah. And the kid being interrogated was like, yeah, man, I wouldn't think so either. But they're like, yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, if you've watched any fucking episodes of I Survived, that shit happens all the time. Like, I remember there was some kind of story about some lady getting stabbed in the head, like several times, and shot in the head. Like, people get fucked up and still live. So I do think it makes sense that it's possible.
Yeah,
but it's
it is
interesting.
possible. Yeah, because there was a woman that was, a lot of, this guy took her and a lot of bad stuff happened. And then they stabbed her up and she was almost decapitated and left like out in the desert. She crawled to a street and she's alive.
Crazy.
So, I mean, I guess,
Yeah, it's
it's
possible.
not totally unbelievable, I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So
I loved
crazy.
the girl. I loved his daughter, Colin's girlfriend, Ava.
Colin. Quit calling him Colin.
Colin, I'm sorry. Whatever. Colin. Why do you keep calling him Cole? Because did they call him Cole? I just feel like his name was Cole. Okay. Colin, his girlfriend, Ava, because she's in Sense8. She's really cool in that too.
Okay.
And I saw her in something else as well. I like that actress.
There wasn't much with her, but one of the things I really appreciated about her is I fucking love that just the moment Tasia wakes up in Colin's body and she's trying to be him, she's like, you're being weird. I just thought that was so good, because I think that is how it would be. If you live with somebody, you know their mannerisms, you know how they are, and the moment somebody inhabited their body and tried to pretend like they were them, you know, you kind of get the impression in this movie that people don't know, like just your layman people walking around don't know that this technology is possible. So it makes sense that you would not think to yourself, somebody else is in my boyfriend's body.
No.
So you can't even get there just logically, but she immediately knows something is weird. She's like, you're being weird. And even later, I wrote down one of my things is she said something about like, you're so disfigured, or so, I thought that was a really interesting word to use. Maybe not the best script choice, because why would you say that necessarily? But I thought it was obviously an intentional choice, because there's a lot of disfigurement, as I'm sure we will get into later. But I liked her. I thought she was very astute.
Yeah, and probably just normal human being. You'd think, oh, he wants to leave me. He's cheating on me. He hates working for my dad, and he's trying to hold it in. He's going to resent me. It would be all those things that you would think. You wouldn't think, oh, maybe he's possessed.
Right. Possessed, not in a demonic way, but in a somebody is in my body.
In a corporation way.
Yeah. Ugh. Cold, calculating corporate capitalism. Just one more C. Yeah. Just one more. Yep. So much alliteration.
Oh, I want to say something. I was going to go to the how they portrayed like the sinking and stuff like that. It was just so fucking cool. But before we do that, how interesting the part where he had to go mine, where he had to watch, like he accessed people's computer cameras, video cameras, just to see what type of blinds they had in their house. So that was to send them targeted advertising, right?
I think so.
I think it was like, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they never say exactly, but it is just data mining. So it's like
that's crazy.
They're filtering. You've got all these people sitting there with virtual reality goggles on, filtering through videos uploaded, streamed to the internet, and just making logs of what the curtains were like. And it's such a weird concept, but I thought it was so fucking interesting and like,
so they upload. I thought they were accessing the cameras like on my Alexa there.
I guess they could be. Yeah. They also don't explain that, but I assumed that it was either, it was probably both, right? Because you've got like the video of somebody's kid, right? And he's like, oh, don't see any curtains in the video. So I'm guessing it's both. But that one where the people are having sex, so it's like a porn, there's also a sign up above the bed that says like hustle or hustler or something. So I assumed that was meant to be a streamed, like a live streamed porn video, essentially.
Oh, I missed that. So I thought it was just a couple hooking up, and that was like the computer in their room or the TV or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's unheard of either, though. Like, it seems like it's sort of an all-powerful company. And just what a weird, I don't know. I definitely think there are themes in this movie about companies and capitalism and like
infringing on people's privacy.
Right. And what that means for employees and stuff. And we could talk more about that. But it just is like an interesting thought process. And then this company that hires people to be or that employs people to go and assassinate people in other people's bodies, they want this company, or they want to have somebody who owns the company in their back pocket. That's the whole reason for this hit. Well, it's a secondary reason, but it's so valuable to them that they want it. And so that's interesting. You know, again, you don't really know why. They don't talk about it. They don't spell it out for you, but you're like, this must be powerful information for them to want to know. And I think, we live in an age now where data is valuable. Our data is sold. It's collected from all of our social media platforms. We are the commodity, essentially, our data. And it's sold to other companies that want to advertise or figure out what people, like need just through the process of, this is like random, but I noticed the other day, I was like, this is so fucking weird. Just through the process of looking at houses, I started to get ads on Instagram for like lawn care. I've never looked up lawn care in my life, but they can tell based on your, search patterns and what you're doing. They even can tell, I think it was like Target or something. Somebody did a case study. They can tell that you're pregnant before you may even know that you're pregnant. And they start advertising to you like baby stuff. So we already live in a world. How do they
know that?
Just based on like search patterns and things. It's
based on like if I was to search like morning sickness signs or something like that. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it may not be exact, like, it may not be as cut and dry as like, new mom something. It may be even before that, like you're saying, like morning sickness symptoms or, I don't know, best pregnancy test or something.
Can I get pregnant when I'm on my period?
Right. Exactly. That kind of stuff. So it's fucking crazy what we can already do. And I think that's another thing that I love about this movie is it doesn't, even though the idea is super crazy and it's like really sci-fi, it doesn't feel that far-fetched.
Yeah.
And even this data mining thing feels like very rooted in reality.
Yeah, I don't doubt that they're doing that right now. Not necessarily the body takeover, but the data mining.
Yeah.
Well, they do that right now. But are people probably people are going through all actually they are going through all the content and then seeing how,
I think the only thing that I thought was interesting and unrealistic about this situation is very manual. You've got a bunch of people sitting there. Like, I thought that was just an interesting juxtaposition. It seems like with the technology that exists, you wouldn't actually need people to sit there and manually tell you what's in there. But
you are
again
on point with that. I thought that too. Yeah. I thought for such a futuristic, I actually did think that when he sat down and was doing that, I thought for such a futuristic company and theme and the shit that's going on, to have people, how expensive that would be to just sit there and go through videos when you could just more easily just use the search history, the purchase history. I mean,
yeah. But it's kind of like an alternate, I don't know. It's like an alternate reality almost.
Yeah,
I read
it was a good element.
That it was set in 2008. So it's supposed to be like kind of an alternate 2008, I think.
How about how gross the thing where they had to like calibrate and stick that needle in their head?
In the head. Yeah. This is another moment where when she's having to do it, super fucking gross. Super macro close up of the needle going into Holly's scalp.
Yeah.
Immediately in the first like 2 minutes of this movie, super gross. Loved it. But then she's like looking at herself in the mirror and sort of running through things. And both times, like you run through all these emotions. And I think Holly, again, she like cries. And that was one of those moments where I felt like, okay, is this where the host body person is coming through and can recognize what's happening to them? And so they're crying because of it? I don't know.
Well, how about this? Okay, so first, two of the most amazing acting performances, not a word spoken, both Colin and Holly.
Yeah.
Just going through the emotions. Fucking phenomenal. Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, if it's called a calibration and she has Tasia do it when she feels she's not in control, she wants her to calibrate. Does that mean calibrate means on like getting on the same page? So is that Tasia calibrating with Holly or calibrating with like it? Calibrating is getting them to sync, right? So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I took it to mean like with the body, but maybe it is because she later says when she's in Colin's body, she says something to the effect of like, I can feel it. I'm 1-to-1 with the host.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the thing, is there's a calibration maybe in terms of,
yeah. Well, I guess emotions And all of that is all sensory anyways and within the brain. Um, you know, so maybe that is like what you're saying, the host, the body, calibrating with the body. Because, and I won't explain this well, but as you guys know, so for example, Tawny might react a different way to something than I would based on our past, based on how we're wired, right? How we're wired from trauma and from experiences and all of that. We're going to react differently. So Tasia and the host are going to as well, based on their experiences. So maybe that's calibrating with the body so that she can be more in control and more in sync, more natural in that body, like how that person would normally react in a situation. So it's not like, who the fuck are you? So they don't blow their cover.
On that note, I mean, just the acting in general. There is not a person in this movie that makes any sort of choice that takes me out of the movie. I mean, I'm like fully immersed from beginning to end. Everybody is fantastic. It was really impressive. And then it was even more impressive, like you're saying, with these people who have to show, and especially from, what's his name? Chris Abbott, who played Cullen, and I don't remember her name, but she played Tasia, right?
Oh, she's so good.
Two people have to play two parts. They have to play themselves and like themselves not knowing who they are and each other and like a blend between the two. And I thought, wow, this is fucking amazingly well done.
Especially him.
Yeah.
Because Tasia is Tasia. I mean, she's phenomenal. She did a phenomenal job. But he has to be both Tasia and himself.
Yeah, but I also like that scene in the beginning. I'm thinking of when she comes back and she's practicing being herself.
Oh yeah.
She's like, you know, she's not being anybody else, but she's lost herself. So she's trying to practice even who she is.
She has found herself, but has lost her mask.
Yeah, totally. That's a really good. Here's another crazy thing. Let me just throw this at you in this moment. I heard this like theory today that maybe Tasia isn't even Tasia. Maybe somebody is inhabiting her body and trying to act like her. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I don't know what like other evidence, but there was something about like the accent. Like when she's practicing, she's like doing it in an accent or not doing it in an accent or something. There's something there. And I don't know how much there is to that. You can probably go and find more information on it if you want to, like online, or maybe I will try to do that after this. But I thought, okay, fucking maybe, who knows? Maybe somebody else inhabited Tasia, and that's not even her. And so it's like somebody else trying to be Tasia. There's
I can't go there.
So many possibilities. Can't. Yeah, so set that aside. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was interesting. I think it's an interesting thought.
It is.
But yeah, like I love that moment with her. She's practiced. Like I don't know. That moment was just so powerful for me. It was one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie where she's like, "Hi, darling. Hi, darling. Hi, darling." You know.
The storms here are so loud. So I just want to pre-apologize if Tawny is not going to be able to edit out.
I can't even hear anything.
I hear stuff crashing outside. Like
what?
I won't be surprised if there's like no, there's not a tornado, but yeah, I hear stuff being thrown around. The windows are rattling. Okay, good. Okay, so maybe you guys can't hear it, and so good. So I'll just keep ignoring it unless the windows shatter. Then I might need to.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I can't hear anything. You know how like the fireworks were happening? Those were super loud. I can't hear a thing. You sound super normal.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about, if you want, how amazing the syncs, the transitions to the other bodies. Like they did this just visually stunning shit. And it very much portrayed maybe what it would feel like or what it would be like with the melting face and oh God, it was so good. Like when you had that mask of her on, God, it was just so good. They're not even talking. It's all visual.
Yeah, totally. There's no dialogue at all. Fuck, this movie is so good.
It's really good.
Okay, so real quick, just on that note, most of the special effects in the film were done practically with an effort to use as little visual effects work as possible. The hallucination scenes, effects in particular, were done in camera. Cronenberg credits, why can't I talk tonight? Cronenberg credits his effects specialist Dan Martin and Derek Liscombe and his longtime cinematographer Kareem Hussein for being able to pull off convincing visuals with a minimum amount of CGI. So that's cool. I think you can tell, right? Like with the melting faces and skin and hands and stuff. It's so
how
unique.
it crushes in and then it oh yeah.
Yeah, and it bleeds into Colin, right? Like you have the face of Tasia and it like melts down and gets sucked into this mold of Colin and remolded as Colin.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You guys should just watch it just for this.
Yeah.
You even get so well done without saying anything. Colin, I had to pause.
Thank you.
I don't know why I keep going to that other name, which is not, it's the body part. But I felt motion sickness. And he didn't say, oh, I feel sick. And he's not going around vomiting everywhere, but he's stumbling and you just get this like the flashes and the warping and you're just like motion sick.
Yeah. Super well done. I liked too how because it's all so fast. Like these images happen so quickly. But there's one where they're standing in front of like a mirror, both of them, and they like flip their head back and it happens in a sequence, so you can see like a trail of them almost doing that. They did all that practically with mirrors and stuff, and I thought it just was like really
wow.
You get
it's
so
art.
much. Yeah, totally. You get so much about what's happening mentally and like emotionally within them just through these visuals, which are so abstract.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool.
And I wanted to say too, before I forget, I listened to, and I highly recommend if you want to do an even deeper dive into this movie and the themes about it, I listened to Rye Smile Films episode on this, and they get deep into theories and analysis and stuff. It's an incredible episode. So some of what I'm going to talk about, I think as we continue to go on, like I pulled a little bit from them and I don't remember exactly because I started listening to the episode right after I watched the movie like months ago. And then I finished it today in the process of doing research for this. So I apologize if I don't appropriately credit thoughts and stuff to them, but it's an incredible episode. Go check it out if you want to do a deeper dive. But one of the things that they talk about, and I think this is so perfect, is that Tasia is a husk. And I think that word husk is like so fucking perfect. She is a husk of herself. And so when you see Colin pick up this fucking disfigured, and this is what they say, to used up old version, like mask of her. I mean, it's a literal mask of her. Mm-hmm. And he goes to put it on. It doesn't fit right. It's horrific looking. Mm-hmm. It's so, I don't know. I just felt like husk, the word husk perfectly encapsulates this. And the other thing that they brought up that I was watching for the second time when I watched this today is, I don't know if you caught this, it's a very quick moment in the beginning, but when her son Ira is playing with that like robot doll, it looks like the mask we see of her later.
Okay, so I have a note here. That doll is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
So that's what I have here. The doll is scary as fuck. But I think by the time everything happened, I didn't even remember the doll.
Yeah, because there's so much that happens between then.
And it's just being animated. It's this lifeless thing being animated. That's like a foreshadowing of her.
Oh,
or
yeah,
representation
totally. Oh, my
of her.
God. Yeah, didn't even think about that. Yes. Yeah. Wow. There's so much to think about in this movie. It's so meaty.
Yeah, I want to see it again.
You know what else I thought today as a word that I think really applies to this is it's potent. It's a potent movie.
It really is.
There's so much in every like moment, every scene, every interaction that I feel like you would have to watch it several times to sort of even pick up on. One of the small things that I picked up on this time that I didn't the first, I don't know if you remember this, but they show kind of close-ups of like the cross. There's like a light cross in the eyeballs. And I don't know.
I think so, but
it must be the light above Colin when he's in the truck getting the implant or something.
Yes.
When he goes to work later, and they show it a few times, but he goes to work later and he goes into the bathroom. Remember when when she's freaking out about, the little popcorn thing, the lights in the bathroom they're a light cross like that.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a lot of visual repetition. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Repetition throughout the movie that I think is just, you'd have to watch it several times to be able to pick up on with color and patterns and stuff. Just the visuals.
So that's a question. What is that popcorn thing? Is it like a glitch or?
I think so. I took that to mean so
she didn't have complete control of the host.
Yeah,
it's like his essence is still there. Or?
They said when she goes in, she says something to the effect of like, be aware of any, disorientation or artifacting. And I thought that's what it was, is like artifacting, because that's kind of what it is, digitally when you work with stuff. It's just like little, pixels or whatever. So that's kind of what I thought it was. I don't know if there's a deeper meaning. I did listen to something earlier that said it could be a visual representation of the thought. Because also earlier Girder mentions like just one little thought will take you away or pull you out or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Have you lose control. And so this video that I watched was like, it's the visual representation of that thought. And that's why earlier when he touches it in the flat, it goes away. But when he touches it in the workplace, he can actually touch it, whatever. And that's why she panics and seems to lose control, pass out, and like wake back up. So I don't know much more than that. But so let me throw this at you. Did you notice that the pools of blood when they're laying on the ground, Colin and Ira, are in the shape of the red butterfly?
No, I didn't. Oh, shit. Because as they pulled away, I was like, that looks like a heart, is what I originally thought.
Oh, okay.
Because the top of the heart, and then the heart wasn't complete. So I didn't notice that. Oh, very, very cool. Ooh.
Yeah. I thought that was a nice touch.
That's
Didn't pick up on that.
Very nice touch. I thought, oh, it's a heart. Oh, no, it's not. That's exactly what I did. So it signifies that she's fully become herself, I feel like. Because then she's like, and I killed it, and she didn't feel guilty about it. This is who I am. I mean, or it's like they're trying to get it, condition her to not care. I don't know. We can go back and forth on it forever.
I also think there's something about potentially the blood coming together and touching. And again, in this Rice Smile Films episode, they touch on this, like, what could it mean if the blood didn't touch? What does it mean that the blood does touch? Does it mean that we are all connected as people and, there's this collective consciousness essentially? Or does it mean that, I think a continuous theme throughout the movie is the merging of two people, right? Because you have her going into people's bodies and sort of it gets muddy. Who's in charge, whose body it is, whose choices it is. I mean, she even says to Colin later, like, no, that was you. You're the one who, acted out that violence on Sean Bean's character. And so there could be something to that as well, is just the merging and the loss of self almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, again, it could be read in several different ways.
Yeah.
The more that I watch it, the more I like it. And I think, yeah, just what a feat to pull off. I guess they did. This is kind of random, but just as far as the movie itself goes, it debuted at the Sundance Film Festival on January 25th, 2020. So normally the press would follow a movie's festival premiere, but it was ultimately sidelined by COVID just weeks later. And I didn't have the budget, but the box office was like $901,000.
Oh, wow.
Which seems low.
Yeah.
But I think it's an indie film to begin with, but that sucks. And I bet COVID put a big damper on what they expected it to do.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to go back a little bit, but I thought this was another interesting point with the data mining is just voyeurism. So you've got this like theme of voyeurism, right? Both with the data mining company and with Tasia going into other people's bodies. I mean, you see as soon as she wakes up in Colin's body, she goes right to the bathroom and looks at his penis, right? And so it's this, I think there's something to that. I don't know what it means or what the movie is trying to say about it, if anything. But I thought that was interesting. And again, I think I might have gotten that from Where I Smile Films. And the other thing that I just want to go back and touch on again is just the idea of like capitalism and companies completely like assimilating an employee to its self. Because Tasia, through the process of this movie, gets completely absorbed by this company and this work and by Girder, who is obviously grooming her and has been for a long time. She even mentions, I've been helping you refine and hone this nature, I think she says, that is your nature for this job. And I just think that's interesting. And that's why I can't help but look at her as though she's the victim of the story, because she, in my mind, seems to be manipulated by this company and by this manager into doing their bidding. And that's fucked. Yeah.
And Colin as well, in that company that he works for.
Yeah, well, yeah, totally. Yeah. And he's put in that position because Sean Bean's character, can't remember his name, sorry. He is like, yeah, you'll go into the, and it's this very demeaning thing. He even says like nasty shit about it. Like, oh, I gave him something that was hopefully not too above his skill set.
Yep.
You know, oh God, can we talk about too? This is reminding me that scene where he comes back in to fight him all drunk. I thought that was like perfectly well done. I was like, this is exactly like, she's doing the best fucking job of being this drunk guy flipping out on him. I just thought it was good.
Yeah, because then it was so perfect when he's dragged, like, oh, I'm thinking of something different. It was right before that scene where he's setting it up and he like falls into his girlfriend and is like super wasted. He turns around and boom, is totally fine. Yeah. She takes a drink, puts it down, is totally fine. It was all an act.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God, what amazing acting.
Which technically is all Christopher Abbott.
Yeah, it is.
There's no Tassi. There's nobody else doing that. He's doing that as an actor.
Amazing job. And then I love to, I'm like jumping around here, but just moments of acting that kind of in a row, because then you've got her in Colin's body who comes back later, and Sean Bean is sitting there drunk as fuck. Really drunk as fuck. And he's like, I love how he is, just the interactions in this movie are fantastic. They're not expected, but they're very real. They feel very like rooted in reality. So he's like, well, I'm drunk. I'm going to go to bed or whatever. And he gets up to go to bed and immediately tries to attack him. But Tasia saw that coming. So that's how she ends up getting the first blow on him with that fire poker. But just, I thought all of that was really good. Yeah, it makes sense for him to be bluffing. He's bluffing. Sean Bean. He wants to hurt this person, not get killed in this moment. Anyway, that was really great.
All the actors were so, so good.
I just feel like there's so many scenes in this movie that's just by themselves. Like you could cut out the scene and it's just fucking perfection.
I loved all of the, I had mentioned it earlier. It was just absolutely beautiful, like visually beautiful. And I love how they like tied the pieces together. Like when Tasia was standing and just everything, every single scene, every single location was beautifully colored, beautifully, just everything looked so, so amazing. And she's standing at the end of this long, long row, and her husband lives in the apartment at the end, and she's kind of practicing and walks. And then fast forward to exactly the same, but it's Colin. It's Colin there.
Yeah, I loved that too. And there's something about that set specifically. I mean,
Yeah.
that location specifically that feels so cold and imposing.
Oof, yeah, I agree.
Didn't it? Yeah,
Yes.
like I was like, I don't know what about, but it makes
Cold,
me chilly.
imposing. Yeah, totally chilly, and I don't want to say hopeless, but just like not warm and homey and loving.
I thought this time as I was watching it, especially with Tasia in the very beginning, I thought it's like death row. She's like standing at the end of a long row that she knows she's going to have to walk down.
That's a really good point.
There's nothing good at the end of it, you know?
You know, the girlfriend's apartment, Ava's apartment, was no better.
Yeah, true.
It was also very, maybe sterile. That was just but sterile, yeah.
Yeah, white.
It wasn't homey or cozy.
Yeah.
It was just very sterile. And I remember when she got back to the apartment and the friends were like all doing coke and all sitting there, I just felt like, you could just feel like, like I wouldn't even want to be a part of this situation. And I just would want to go to bed. Like no one said anything, but they did such a good job showing that. Yeah, it was really good.
So on the note of the penis, the penis that Voss has. So Brandon Cronenberg said he originally wrote the scene in which Voss has sex with the intention of showing Voss as having a penis, but he subsequently edited the script, knowing some actors would not feel comfortable with it. But upon casting Andrea Riseborough, the two had a conversation during which Riseborough suggested the idea of Voss having a penis, which delighted Cronenberg and made him feel like she was reading his mind. The scene was rewritten back into its original form, and what is seen is what he originally envisioned for that.
It was so good.
So, yeah, I mean...
It was so quick, but it was just that she is him, and I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah, me too.
Is there more to that besides her being... It's that merging of the two the bodies of her and the host?
I think so. And I think, there's a lot of theory stuff online about a theme of penetration in this movie. And I think I read something, I didn't write it down, but even Cronenberg himself said, like, yeah, it makes sense that people say that. Like, I wasn't specifically going for that in this movie.
You're right. Yes.
But she does, like, stab a bunch of people, right? She opts for stabbing, which is a form of penetrating.
The thing in the head.
The thing in the
is
head.
Penetrating. The fireplace poker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's going to do all of that over, you know what I mean? Like, shooting somebody. And even just the idea of going into somebody's body is sort of penetrating.
Yeah.
/ possessing them. And so I think there's a lot of people sort of that have theories and thoughts about that. I think you can look more up about that, but I did read that like Brandon Cronenberg was like, yeah, like I wasn't specifically going for that necessarily, but sure. Cronenberg said that there is a possibility of a second movie down the line, one that would encompass the material that didn't make it into this film.
Oh, so same story, same people? Just
I don't know.
Different material?
I don't know.
Huh. No.
For all we know, it could be different people.
Should be different people. Or Or unless it was continuing on with Tasia's story and her somehow incorporated like thinking back to the things that happened.
I could do that, because I think that's the thing is at the end of this movie, I really want her to not be completely devoid of emotion or empathy. And I almost don't want her to be. I like that she's like a badass assassin. That's fucking cool. I like that. But I don't want her to be completely lost to this company. I want her to have some sort of humanity left. And so that's why at the end, I just personally am sort of hoping for, okay, maybe she's lying, like maybe she's pretending to cut off all of those ties, but she really wants to get revenge or something. Like, I would love to see a sequel like that, but I also appreciate the way that this ended. And I like the open-endedness of it and the coldness of it. And so I don't know if I want to see that, but I also would be down for it.
Yeah, I think if they do it, I'll watch it. I'll be nervous because I don't want them to ruin anything for me, but
it could be the same company, different people, same universe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and this is what I wanted to say too. I'm almost like going to one of my first thoughts about this movie, but one of my favorite things. This movie isn't like, I think it should fall into the horror category, but it doesn't scare me necessarily like in a traditional sense. But it does, I think it is a very scary concept. And one of the other scenes that I like the most in this movie is when she's getting the debrief about, or is that the right word? She's getting like the information about Colin and what they're going to do. And she's like, oh, the story is that, he's a disgruntled whatever and goes to kill his girlfriend, kills the father. And, later they have a conversation where she's like, I want you to get in a fight with him, make it public, get thrown out of this party and then come back later and we'll finish the job. The idea that these people could infiltrate other people's bodies, create an entire narrative, and then be able to execute on that and get away scot-free. Yeah. No one knows that it's them because they're in somebody else's body is a very fucked up concept.
Yeah.
That I love it, and it's scary.
And it's sad for those people that probably never would do anything like that.
Totally. And they don't have any recourse. Even if they survived somehow, how can you tell somebody? They'd just be like, you're insane.
You're insane. Yeah. Best case scenario is you'd get the insanity. And I hear that that's not that great,
right.
Going to, a mental hospital, having the insanity plea. But yeah, there's absolutely no way. Oh, my mind. They would think that, okay, maybe they are insane. They have, schizophrenia. They have whatever mental illness causes you to hallucinate and see other people. Like in that A Beautiful Mind. Remember, you would see. Have you seen A Beautiful Mind?
Nope.
Oh God, that's a good movie. But anyways, so I won't say anything about it. But yeah, you're totally screwed. And so like for this guy, Colin, I literally have to pause. And so sorry if you have to edit out those stupid pauses. For him, they're gonna think, okay, he killed that guy brutally, like so disgusting, killed his girlfriend, sure. Okay, he was totally disgruntled, hated doing it. And very publicly, the guy, the father, treated him like shit in front of his friends, said terrible shit. So people might be like, oh, I get it. But then he goes, I don't know how far it is, cross town to the next township, wherever, like far. It looks very different than where this mansion was, right?
No, they say this is local.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he goes to this other place that is not at all related, not at all linked, and goes in and kills a father and his son brutally.
Yeah.
That's it.
What the fuck else are you going to think? That's one of the things that I like about this is like nobody in this situation is going to take a second look at this guy because that is exactly what you would expect from him. This guy is a cocaine dealer. Right? That's what they paint as the picture.
Right. Yeah.
He deals and does cocaine. He is like erratic. You know what I mean? Just he has to work for his girlfriend's father's company and he feels put down and emasculated and he's going to turn around and fucking murder everybody. So of course you wouldn't take a second look at it. Mm-mm. And I just thought it was such a well done concept, super scary in that way. Not in like a traditional sense. Like I'm not like losing sleep. I don't wake up in the middle of the night and be like, God, I hope nobody's going to possess my body. But it's like, it's a terrifying concept that might be something that could happen.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
What was Holly's story?
So Holly, I mean, this is maybe not her story, but I was going to say this is a good kind of transition into this. A lot of people have talked and have theories about Holly being Black, and that's the first person that we're introduced to, and she infiltrates her body, and she's the first assassin. So this is a note. It says, in the original script, Brandon Cronenberg did not write the character of Holly as belonging to any specific race. Gabrielle Graham's audition for the role impressed him greatly, which led him to cast her right away. In an interview with Sci-Fi, he elaborates, Graham really just nailed the subtle, nuanced, and emotional aspects of that sequence, so I cast her for that reason. Obviously, if that character is Black, you can read that scene as saying the corporation has the other layer to their actions in scapegoating her, and especially in the current context, that becomes more relevant.
Okay, so that was not his intention, but
yeah,
it could be a side effect intention of just finding an amazing actress.
Right.
And now the fact that she's Black adds this extra layer of context and, truth to that narrative.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, okay.
But beyond that, I don't have much more info about her.
Do you remember did they say anything about, because she worked at the hotel, but like why she would do that? They don't always need a why, honestly, because they would just be like, we can't find a motive. But there's no doubt she did it. She did it right here in front of everybody.
Well, and the cops walked in and literally saw her standing over his body with a gun, and then she pointed it at the cops, right? So there's no question.
No question she did it. They just might be like, we don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the first part of this movie, both times that I've watched it, I haven't watched the very, very beginning very intently. And now I feel like I need to go back and do that so that I can know what happened.
Yeah, it's just her, isn't it? Her getting ready.
Yeah, it's like her,
or
she's doing the calibration.
Yeah.
And, then there's just that quick exchange with her friend or whatever. And then they walk up into this party and she just goes for that guy's jugular in the best way.
Wow.
Man, I'm so glad that you liked this because I thought maybe she could maybe hate this. I don't know. It might be too fucking crazy because it's a crazy movie. And part of the reason why I picked this actually is I felt like we had a really good, a really consistent run with all the movies that we were doing. And I was like, I just want to watch something that's like fucking wildly different.
Yeah.
And Possessor is that movie.
It's a great movie. I loved this movie. I had nothing bad to say about it.
I don't either.
Just because at the end I was like, it's just me wanting to figure it out because I love to have that feeling of, oh shit, that. I love having that aha feeling. So I wanted to like kind of talk it out, but I had nothing bad to say about this movie at all.
Yeah, I don't either. It's fantastic. So
it's fantastic.
What does that mean that you're going to rate it?
I don't know. What are you going to rate it? What are you rating it?
I don't know. I got to pull up the list.
I feel really good. I think my spirit guides want me to give it a 4.85. I really, really enjoyed it, but there was an element missing that my fives, this element of full enjoyment. Like I enjoyed it. It was beautiful. I watched it. But if I'm looking at my last five was A Quiet Place. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh my God. And I was so excited about it. Where this was just very fascinating, I guess.
Yeah.
Is a good way to say it. It's really well done. I really liked it. I would watch it again and probably again. I would recommend it. It was very fascinating. There's just that little element of
something,
some enjoyment, that extra piece that the other ones that I rated a 5, I fully felt
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I get that.
I'm glad you got that.
No, I get it because I see what you mean. And it is like this movie is it's kind of slow and it's really subtle, I feel like. And it has like a quiet confidence about it in a way.
What a great thing to say, quiet confidence. Because the slow, for me, when things are slow, I'm kind of like, okay, is this going to end or can I get on? I never felt that way with this.
Yeah.
I was there for the ride. I was really tired and I was locked in for this whole thing. Shining, there was some major slow points where I was like, can you fucking be over now? Because I'm tired. Yeah. But this quiet confidence, what a great way to put it.
I don't know, dude. I think I'm going to have to give it a straight 5. I think that's just what's in my heart. And I thought at first I'm going to give it a 4.75 because of like, I like it on the same level as like A Quiet Place or Midsommar. And I said Midsommar is like a work of art or something. I think I said it's like, and I feel that way about this movie. And I agree with you. Like I said, I agree that there's kind of a lack of enjoyment there. But there's something so fucking intriguing about this movie that I think that's what's going to push it up to the 5 for me. Is that I can't help but keep thinking about the themes. Even in our conversation, we had like 3 more things that I've never even thought of. And I just think that has to count for something. Even if it's a cold movie, a movie that I don't want to necessarily rewatch all the time. Like, it's not that type of fun, you know?
Yeah.
But I just love it. And the more I watch it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again. You know, when I was thinking about rating it, I was thinking about Antichrist. But I liked Antichrist more, but that could be even just who I am, because the themes in Antichrist are themes that I'm just really fucking into and love. So I think that's why I didn't, because I thought about that. Because it's similar on a like themes and like a kind of a cerebral type of level, but Antichrist was just like fucking love of that shit.
That's a good point. I do love Antichrist in a weird way that I don't love other movies.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
We recommend it and at the same time don't.
Yeah, I'm always telling people, I'm like, don't watch this movie. Don't do it.
I've literally, people been like, what's your favorite horror movie? And I've been like, Antichrist. It's a great movie. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I say about Hereditary too. It's a fucking great movie.
Hereditary is my other one.
I don't recommend that you watch it. It's so bad. Unless you're somebody who like really loves horror, in which case I will say, oh my God, you haven't seen this? You should fucking watch this. But
those are my top favorites, those two.
Me too.
Like, what does that say about me?
I mean, what does that say about us collectively? Yes. I don't know. I agree. I like the themes of Antichrist, I think, more, but there's just like I said, there's something about this movie. It's just great.
I think it deserves it. So I'm a 4.85, you're a 5, which gives an overall score of 4.93.
Ooh, that's high. That's high.
That's real high. That's almost a 5.
Yeah.
If you round up, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So there. Oh my God, how much fun. Okay. So that was awesome. Loved it. Thank you so much for introducing me to this movie. I didn't know what to expect. It's totally, well, I shouldn't say it's totally different than what you've recommended in the past, because you like that. A lot of that is body horror. Is that what it's called? Body horror. But it was different. It was different. It was very much more that whole psychological sci-fi side, even though there was that horror. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Everybody should watch it. And next week we are going to be recording with Michael from We Love Horror. Yes. And we are watching I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes. Have you seen it?
Yes. Okay. I don't remember really anything about it. I saw it like way back when. Was I a teenager when this came back? I feel like I was. I was young. Girl.
Maybe. I don't know. I think so. No, that makes sense. Because I think I was like, I don't know. You looking it up?
I am sorry. Yeah, 1997. I graduated in 95.
Okay.
So yeah, I was still young.
Yeah. And I remember like my friend really liked it. My best friend growing up who was also super into horror movies. That's a theme in my life. Okay. She loved this movie. But I don't think I've ever seen it. Or if I have, I saw it so long ago that I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a great pick.
Bits and pieces, like little bits and pieces, but they're pictures. And I can't put it all together. I
remember like a conversation in the middle of the woods or like on a cliff face.
Yeah.
It's like at night and people are like yelling at each other. That's the only thing I remember. And I think I just caught that one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be good.
So that's what we're watching. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. That's going to be fun. It's fun and fresh, bringing it back to the 90s.
Get another guest episode in here.
Guest episode. We love Michael, so that's going to be so much fun to chat with him.
Yeah.
I should tell you, we're going to have another episode on Wrong Turn because we have a challenger. And I was trying to think of something real clever, like maybe we make it like a boxing match or I'm not sure, but Josh from Horror Movie Crew had a lot to say about our episode. He really liked it. We were like killing him the first hour.
I was thinking that today. I was like, I wonder what Josh has to say about this episode.
And he even said, I have a rebuttal for almost every single point that you brought up.
I'd love to hear it.
And I was like, I would love to hear it too. So that's something we're going to think about. And so stay tuned. He said he would be super game to come on and talk about it. So we'll figure that out and see what we want to do. But for now, head over to our Instagram page at 2 Chicks in a Horror Flick. You can also find us at that handle everywhere, Facebook, TikTok, all the places except Twitter is going to be at 2 Chicks HF.
Nicely done.
I know. I don't understand. Colon. Like, why can't I get those two things right? What else, Tawny?
You can support the show if you like this by subscribing and giving us a review on whatever platform you're listening to us. And also, share with a friend if they also love horror movies. And we have a Patreon that you can support the show at as well. And we also have a Discord server where we talk about all things horror, so you can catch us over there. All right, so we will see you guys next week. We hope that you watch Possessor and get real cold and calculated.
Real cold and calculated.
And disturbed and dark in the best way.
And then share with us. Talk to us about...
Yeah, I want to know.
God, I love that. I like to hear what other people have to say.
Me too.
Whether they agree or don't agree.
Yeah.
I had... can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to make you feel validated too. It made me feel validated. We had Lorraine from Once Upon a Nightmare. She wrote us on Instagram and said, I am so glad you said that about Bill Sage, about Wrong Turn, about him being hot. She goes, wouldn't be so bad being his prisoner, and then thought I was a weirdo for thinking that. And I was like, nope, you're not a weirdo, or we're all weirdos and life is more fun. And she goes, yeah, we're probably all weirdos.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she was on the same wavelength and was happy that we said that. So
hell yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Lorraine. Same brain. And we will see you guys next week. No nightmares. Have a good night. No nightmares. Missed the first part.
That'll work.